Good afternoon and welcome you all to the webinar series presented by UniApply. So Reimagine is a webinar series where we discuss various important topics, right? And we invite eminent panelists from various schools. So today I would like to discuss on a very important topic, right? Which is your guide to stream selection after class 10. But for the audience, I would like to introduce I am Ritesh Chawla and I am representing UniApply. For all the viewers, UniApply is a pioneer platform for all your school admission needs, right from shortlisting, comparing, applying to the school for your choice. So it's a basically one single application form based platform where you can apply to multiple school using one single application form. Being India's largest enrollment automation platform, we have transformed and digitized the entire process of school admission. So today, the discussion is focused on for all the parents and students who are stuck in the situation of selecting the right stream and the school. So with a variety of subjects and combination and education board offered by the school, it get confused for the student to pick one stream without knowing what it entails. Thus, our topic for today is your guide to stream selection after class 10. So without taking much of time, I would like to introduce the panelist for today. So I would like to introduce Neeta Arora ma'am. Ma'am is the principal with Sri Venkateshwara International School, Dwarka. Welcome, Neeta ma'am. Now I would like to introduce my another panelist, Miss Rupika Tandon. Miss Rupika Tandon is vice principal with Arunodaya Public School, Delhi. Welcome, Rupika ma'am.
Thank you, Ritesh, and greetings to all the fellow panelists.
Now, welcome Sukhmeen ma'am. So, ma'am is ex-acting principal with the Indian School, Sadiq Nagar, Delhi. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Ritesh.
Last but not the least, welcome Geeta ma'am. Geeta Sharma ma'am is the vice principal with the Paramount International School, Dwarka, Delhi. Welcome, Geeta ma'am.
Thank you, Ritesh.
So, looking forward for a very fruitful session with all of you. Right. So, without taking much time, let's move to our agenda for today. We know that stream selection is a very complex process for many of the parents because there are a lot of factors involved like career choice, their marks, the board. So I would like to start with the basics where, I would want, to start with Neeta ma'am first. Ma'am, how one should select a board when it comes to, because there are various choices, right? CBSE, ICSE. There are variety of choices nowadays parents have. So how one should select a board?
You are in a certain school till grade 10. So you're already in a certain board. But supposing you're looking for change of board, then you have to examine what is available, whether you're ready to shift base or are you looking for schools near your residence. In case you're very, very sure that you're only going to study abroad,
right,
and not in India, then you can think of any international board, which could be IB, International Baccalaureate, or it could be IGCSE, or it could be like the Cambridge boards.
right.
But all said and done, we have had examples where children from CBSE or ICSE schools have also made it to best universities of the world without much problem and even with scholarships.
Right.
So it is ultimately not the board. It is about how you take the next 2 years. How do you prepare yourself, which will determine your admission abroad or in India. Whereas CBSE schools also have this choice that the child can write even the exams of the central university, whichever state they are in,
Right.
as well as they can apply for admissions abroad. So, and another thing that you have to see is the financial budget of your family.
Right.
Because most of the international boards are very expensive. So kindly check that out and then decide. IB boards require a different kind of attempting English. If you are very good in reading literature, understanding, comprehending, creative writing part is amazing. It's not like you're preparing for only a board-based examination, but you are an amazing writer. You can actually examine and you are a story writer. You're a content writer. You like writing blogs. You like digital devices and you're adapted it. Then think of IB board. Otherwise, just going to an IB board for the sake of it may not prove to be effective, may rather prove to be counterproductive because you got to read 6 thick books in literature mainly.
Right.
And they will not admit you unless you do well in their entrance. If you are not into reading books, please don't go for these books. But if you love reading, then the whole world is yours. You can go anywhere and do anything, provided your parents can support your education.
Right. So thank you for sharing your view, Neeta ma'am. In fact, Sukhmeen ma'am is also a counselor, right? So I would like Sukhmeen ma'am to add to Neeta ma'am what she has shared. So would you like to add something in addition to what Neeta ma'am shared?
What Neeta ma'am said is very, very precise. And I would also say that, the financial budget is something, because in counseling session, when we talk to the parents and the students, so it's not that, okay, I'll just go to the IB board or I'll just take the Cambridge board and, you just go ahead with it. The idea is you have to see, the financial standing and everything. And if you are going for higher education, forget about the fees in those universities. Even an application, all that process also takes in a lot of, in terms of financially, it can be very heavy on the person. So you have to look at all those aspects and be very clear that, okay, fine, if this is the board that I am getting into, what are going to be my prospects in that particular area? Why am I going there? So that is why I think taking that choice right from the very beginning is very good. So if you are sure that you want to go abroad and you want that kind of, subject combinations, though national education policy will allow even CBSE to have those kind of subject combination in due course.
Right.
So it is not going to be an immediate effect, but it will eventually come. So that,
it has,
yeah.
I have seen in my school, there was a child who took commerce and physics.
Yeah.
Or the CBSE school would allow, but I did allow him. He took it till 11th, and after 11th, he wanted to drop it, but the school was ready to go the whole 2 years of his journey. There are a lot of children who take like 5 main subjects or 4 subjects of say science stream, and they go for the 5th one, which is very different. I mean, now the CBSE schools are giving wide choices.
Right.
Yeah.
If
it comes, Ritesh, if it comes like proper, like when national education policy will come into effect, and when you see, still the students there are some students who do choose subjects like that. Maybe they take a subject like French, and they along with the science stream, and they want to follow French later on. So that is happening, but there are very few students who are doing that. But when it will come into effect where we can choose any subject combinations, then I think parents and students will feel more confident in taking those kind of subject combinations.
Right. In fact, subject and the stream combination is very, very important for anyone who is just getting into class 11. And yes, Neeta ma'am would want to add.
We even offer foreign languages to any stream. You can take French, Spanish, German, even Japanese in 11th and 12th as well. So there are schools which are offering a whole lot of gamut. There was a child who took science and Sanskrit to go with it because she was interested in it. Then there are many other subjects, like for example, music production, ECCE, graphic designing, then dance and all sort of instruments and dances, applied arts. There are a lot of choices, and there are a lot of skill subjects, entrepreneurship, marketing. I mean, CBSE has given, and the schools which can provide these are providing it. In my school, there are 40 choices that you can take. So not necessarily that you have to go by just those 10, 12 choices and you say, oh, I've done. The school has all the 3 streams. The streams are becoming wide, and CBSE has introduced so many subjects last year. Good schools took those subjects and are offering them to their students.
That's wonderful. In fact, we'll have all such upcoming question I have in my mind. So my next question is going for Rupika ma'am. So ma'am, there are set of students who have a very strong feeling that I don't have a liking or disliking for a particular subject. And then the basis of their liking and disliking, they actually select the stream. But those students who doesn't really have the liking and disliking for a particular subject, how they can select a stream?
Thank you, Ritesh, for the question. I was just reading a quote. They said the hardest decision is not between good and bad or right or wrong. The hardest decision is always selecting between the 2 goods or 2 rights. So let me begin with that. All career choices are good. They can go for anything and they can make big in it. But a child who has not explored so well and is not clear, and even there are no people in the family who are able to guide the child. Most of the time, the child is guided by the parents or the peers, or maybe some elder sibling is there. So in that case, I shared what I did with my daughter. She was an excellent student and got a very good CGPA. She got 9.8 at that time, and everybody said that she should take up science because that is the usual thought process. But then I had seen that she was a good orator. She was into writing and all, so I insisted. And so deciding between the parent and the teacher becomes usually difficult. So then I opted for an aptitude test. So whenever you have to decide, whatever you have to decide, I think your interest or affinity, I'll say, affinity towards a particular career choice, and then the aptitude, both the things have to be taken into consideration. Only then I think it will make up a good choice.
Right. Absolutely. Geeta ma'am, would you like to add on something?
Add into that. First of all, one has to find out the strength and weakness in someone. The child should know what is the child's strength and what is the weakness and what is the personality of that child. Accordingly, the child can decide the stream then. And one more thing I want to add, that taking science because the child has got good marks in class 10 is not going to make successful that child in future.
Absolutely.
Whatever strength the child has and whatever weaknesses the child has to live with that for the whole life. So instead of taking out the weaknesses, the child should take the stream in which the child can do well. All the careers are good. It's not like that everybody should be doctor or engineer after taking science. There are so many children who are taking humanities and clearing UPSC exams also. So it's according to the strength and weaknesses of the child should go for the stream.
So Geeta ma'am, what we have come across a lot of cases like in the previous webinar when we had with the different panelists. So the introspection is really important when it comes to one individual, right? So the challenge among the gentry is like they don't know. They need a direction. So in fact, my next question is for Neeta ma'am. Neeta ma'am, so see, stream is really important and career is most important. After that stream, what you're going to pursue in your graduation, and after that, what career you are actually going to opt for. So now imagine if there is a case who doesn't know about what sort of a stream, what sort of a course in graduation they are going to opt for. So what stream could be a fit for them? Because there are a lot of students who says that at this point in time, I'm not clear that what graduation I will pursue. So there is no question of choosing a stream. So what could be a best fit for those kids?
The careers that we talk about now may not be there in future.
Right.
So now is not the time for people who were of my age or of your age to understand what the future careers would be. This age group can do its own research and they must do it. There are career guidance counselors who also give you ideas, or you can search on net, or you can just see job profiles that people are asking in job vacancies column. What you will see would be relevant for only next 3 years. After 3 years, again, the job requirements would change. But with this fast changing world, whatever you learn, if you learn well, if you have the desire to relearn, unlearn, relearn again, you can get into any field. But there are specialized fields where you've got to have a certain subject at school level, university level. Say, for example, you want to go into flying, so you should have physics in your school level. You want to go into any of the technical areas where science is required. But now with private universities opening up, there are many more choices which are given to children. They're not so hardbound that you should have studied this in school, then only will give you this particular subject. Like Morarji Desai gives yoga degree only to children who studied science.
Right.
And those who wanted to go into this particular university or college did not know about it. And now they're regretting, why didn't I take science in 11th? Why did I go for any stream? I thought I have to master in yoga. My school, by the way, offers yoga as an elective too. Now, so what you have to do is you have to know your strength.
Right.
Know your interest, and then try to match it with what you may like to do in future. If you're undecided now, no worry, but at least you can settle on 1, 2, 3 current career alternatives available to you. Don't choose only one, choose 3. If not one, you may get the second, you may get the third, and be prepared to add a 4th one as you grow, as you gain. Like, for example, there's a topper of my school humanities. I met her after she finished her graduation, and she says she wants to go in for political analysis. This field was never thought of earlier.
Right.
She wanted to not do policy making. She didn't want to go to NLU for that. There's a course in policy designing, but she said she wants to become a political analyst. Who would have thought of such a career when I was growing or you were growing?
Right.
And now this girl is already 3-year-old of the system. She's another generation. The current 11th is at least 5 years behind her. So when they become something, they will try to, even if they pursue science, it's not necessary that they will become, they go into a technical, medical or engineering field. They may become a cricket commentator like Harsha Bhogle. They may become an engineer becoming a cricketer like Anil Kumble. Even those days it used to happen. Now it's going to happen in a very, very big way. You have Palach Sen who did medicine, but he went to become a musician because his interest, his hobby did not like in that direction. So if you listen to your heart, ma'am has said so beautifully, so rightly, Rupika ma'am, choose between two rights, two wrong. Now I would say there's nothing like right, there's nothing like wrong. Everything could be right and anything could become wrong if the child doesn't enjoy it. Even what seems like a right now may be proved to be wrong. There are cases where people commit suicide because they're not enjoying their life, or they cannot get along with other people because they've been hard. I mean, starting to get into a college of their choice that they forgot about social interaction or communication skills or collaboration skills. All those are very important. So what you have to learn now is good command over language, very good command, whichever language you want to be, whether it's Hindi or English or any other language, say French or German or Spanish. So have, mastery over your language, be one of the best there. Digital devices, even if you're not learning computers, there's nothing like only a computer student or an IT student would be good in computer. Everybody has to learn computers. Third is you should be aware of what is happening around you. So be a very good observer, be able to write. So write your blogs, become something like a blog writer, whatever stream you take.
Right.
When you start writing blogs, you read a lot. You just cannot write like that. So once you read, you become aware of so many other things. You start analyzing what the other people are doing, and then gives you ideas about what the career choices are. I mean, a lot of lawyers, if you talk to them, they did not come to law by option, like it was a second or a third choice, which they realized after passing out of college. Now the students in this school years only are thinking, I will be a lawyer one day, and legal studies as a subject has been introduced by CPSC and many schools are offering it.
Right.
And if you take legal studies, you can go into law. Even if you don't take legal studies, you can still go into law.
Right, right. So
there
what
are
I
many
learned,
choices to get aptitude test done, as ma'am said very, very rightly, that take career counseling. And most important is talk to people who are in that field. You will understand how good is that field, whether it interests you or not, how much hard work is required. People think school mein padh lo, that then you don't have to study the whole year. I'm just whole life. Wrong. You have to have the desire to learn, to read, to grow, to discover new talent in you, or to develop new talent in you. And then again, financial budget check. Supposing you want to be a pilot because you are enamored with the plane taking off and you like the captains, but becoming a pilot is a very costly business.
Right.
Pilot training is still very costly. If your family cannot afford, there is no need for you to take loans to do that. There's so many other areas in which you can go. Then people want to go abroad. They again don't consider their financial package. There are children who want to get into say IIT, and then it requires another kind of training. I'm so sorry to say it also involves some extra training because the course is much beyond 11th and 12th course. So they have to read much more. Now people are worried about central university entrance examination or test. It requires, what does it require? Language. It requires your content. That is the subjects that you're studying, 2 subjects. And third, it requires mental ability. So I would ask all students, parents, and teachers and principals to please have mental ability classes from very young age, every week, so that by the time children pass out, they develop their logic and reasoning. And let's listen to other people.
Right. So what I could learn from ma'am is, first of all, one need to have a backup plan B, plan C in their career choices, and they need to be really beyond their academics. They need to be really observant what is happening, what is going around, read a lot and write, and that will help to build a portfolio, a good portfolio, I would say. Right. So that's okay, but there is a very common case which I would like to now ask, Sukhmeen ma'am. Ma'am, as we see nowadays, top scorer are even opting for humanities, like Geeta ma'am rightly mentioned, right? But I would like to now extend this question. Nowadays, top scorer are actually opting for humanities, and low scorers are actually wishing for science, right? So are parents able to absorb the fundamental change as a school? How uh, how the schools are actually helping parents to understand this new normal, because uh, parents are still like, my kid has 9, 10 CGPA, why not? Oh, I'm sorry, my kid has a 6, 7 CGPA, but I want my kid to opt for science, but school has certain conditions, right? So how parents are accepting this fundamental change, Sukhmeen ma'am?
See, this is a change which I would still say that there are a lot of parents, the thing about engineering and medical is still there, very much there. You know, that science mein jayenge to zyada career prospects rahenge, it has not vanished. It is still
Right.
definitely there. So, but that is what the job of the school is, right? To educate the parents. So it's very important to have these regular career counseling sessions where you're exposing the students and the parents to these counselors who are talking about success stories about people who, you know, from the art background have reached, you know, heights, and what was there, you know, that, you know, when you're talking to, not every child has the option of talking to experts in the field, right? But if we will call an archaeologist or a historian, a school calls them, and they talk about how their typical day goes, like even in newspapers this column comes, right? How their typical day is. Many students, they just, you know, opt for things like, you know, probably psychology, and they think that they're going to read a person's mind. Okay. And the very first year that they do psychology, they're doing statistics, they're doing biophysiology. So they're like, you know, where am I reading the person's mind? So it's
Right.
very important to go through the syllabus also. This is what I tell most of the students. I said, go through, if this is the subject you want to do, go through what are you going to do in those 3 years, or in, you know, your stream of 11th and 12th, because you need to know. You don't need to learn it, but this is what I learn, you know, I learn in these 2 years. Am I interested in it? Will I be able to do it? You know, we keep talking all the time about aptitude and interest,
Right.
but trust me, most of the students are clueless about it. कि
Yes.
interest क्या है? They don't know what their interests are. Somewhere or the other, because of bombardment of information, they are not processing it properly. Internet is giving too much information, so too much information also plays a negative role. So
Right.
that is why the role of an expert turns out to be very, very beneficial in this area. It's not that art loge or science loge that this is, you know, going to work for you. It is more like what is suitable for you.
Right.
If I am a personality who is good in interpersonal, I'll speak for myself. You know, I have good interpersonal skills. But if I get a desk job where I don't interact with anybody, and I have to be with papers all the time, I will eventually, maybe it's paying me very well, I will eventually become frustrated with my life, right?
Right.
So that is the job, you know, that is the main thing that we need to understand that. And it is changing in some of the schools in Delhi, NCR. It is tough to get the art stream than the science. You know, that is the most sought after subject. In
Right.
many of the ICSC, IB curriculum, it's the art courses which is difficult to get it. And this is what we need
So,
to
Sukhmeen
educate
ma'am,
parents.
I would just like to interject because we have to balance between the time and
Yeah,
we have more
yeah,
questions.
yeah.
I'll take a quick view of 1 minute by Rupika ma'am. Ma'am, please add on.
I just wanted to add here that, of course, career counseling helps, but the child and the parent should know that the solution, I mean, the career counselor is also not a future, cannot foretell your future. So they can give you various options, but then the final selection has to be done by you. So rightly said by Neeta ma'am, you have to be well informed. And in today's age, when you know everything is at a click of a button, what should be the hindrance in, you know, not knowing what all is going around? So
Right.
educate yourselves. That is very, very important. And personal education and personal experience, I guess, goes a long way.
Right. In fact, that will help student to get into the career of their choice, not by chance.
Absolutely,
Right.
absolutely.
So my next question, yeah, Geeta ma'am, you have to unmute first.
Know the difference between the dream, hobby, and the goal. Sometimes they get confused into this. And the dreams, they are they are thinking they want to get that. That should be realistic when they are putting up their goals. When they are thinking something, they should be realistic that these are my dreams, these are my hobbies, but I would like to, I can, that should be very realistic. That should be on realistic grounds.
Right. Right. So there was some voice lag in between. So my next question is for you, Geeta ma'am. So ma'am, these days, like Neeta ma'am, she was mentioning about the different choices offered by CBSE. like different languages, different subject. So nowadays it's very common that kids are studying sciences, but they want to opt economics as an additional or a fifth subject, or maybe as a sixth subject, or let's say they want to study accountancy. So there are few options, but what is the larger view of school, CBSE school, with respect to somebody who's studying science full-fledged but want a subject from humanities or let's say commerce? So how schools are tackling this issue these days, ma'am?
It's a bit
Beautiful
difficult for this.
question, Ritesh. Yeah, please,
Yeah,
ma'am, go ahead.
sorry,
Yeah,
ma'am.
Geeta,
No,
ma'am.
no, carry on. Sorry, my mistake.
Uh, it's a bit difficult for the school, but these kind of options provided by CBSE is really very good. See, the child has taken science, but the child is still not clear whether he wants to make his career in science or in commerce field. So if the child is opting economics, at least one more field is open for him. That is one good option that the child is taking. Like with humanities, the child is taking economics and maths also. So one more option in the field of commerce is open. Whether the child is studying humanities or science, the child has one more option open for his career.
Right, right. In fact, Neeta ma'am, I want your quick view on the same question.
I was really intrigued when you said accountancy with science. Believe me, 90% of the engineers in our country end up doing an MBA and they go into
Right.
finance, or
Right.
they go into advertising or marketing. So what is the harm if you have the choice in 11th or 12th itself? You can take a sixth subject if you're ready to work hard, I mean, provided you can expand your horizon. And instead of taking physical education or a lighter subject, you take something which will be useful. Economics is taught in IT in first year, but children do not take it. They just take main four subject and they take one lighter subject. They don't even take any. So take four subjects. Don't take it as a sixth subject. Take it as a fifth subject. Computer science, economics, psychology, legal studies, or accountancy if you want to take, or a language, say foreign language. It might be very, very useful in future. You never know, your career would become, literally shiny. If you say, for example, you were going to have a business interest in, say, any country which is mainly Francophile or French speaking, then will definitely help you. So if you are ready to move into a commerce related field or a marketing related field, post your engineering, spending government money and your parents' hard-earned money on getting a BTech degree from the best university of the at least country,
Right.
and then you suddenly drop the idea of being a hardcore engineer.
Right.
And you never know, you may actually change your mind and you may go into undergraduation in some other subject than that. And that may also open one more line for you. Supposing you don't get into the, say, top-notch engineering colleges of a country, so you have another career option before. I mean, I have had many children who, though they got cleared the NEET examination, but did not opt for them because they were very costly. They went on to pursue law, or they went on to pursue computer science, and they're now very satisfied and happy in the careers.
Right.
So having an extra wider horizon in your academic portfolio is definitely a win-win. Today, if I am a principal, I was a biologist all this while. Do you think I use my biology to run my school? More of administration, more of people management, more of my psychology that I learned in my B.Ed. days, psychology, sociology. And then I also went through management books on my own, just because I want to read.
Right.
So those books that I read helped me understand how to run a school. Then a lot of observation and psychologists help me understand what the parents and the children want and how to help them. So you are constantly learning. I mean, don't think that a subject will define your future.
Right. Right. So thank you for putting your thought across.
And that also answers one of the questions, the question answer, that I'm taking certain subject in 11th. I have to be best in one. But can I be just best in one? How do I manage in 12th? You don't worry. Whatever you take, even if you take English core or elective, whatever you're taking, or you're taking a fifth or a sixth subject, don't think you have to worry only on PCM, because that will help you get into engineering college, or PCB to get in the medical college, or commerce, accounts and creative account business studies and economics. I suggest whatever you do, please do to the best of your ability without comparing yourself with anybody else. Stretch yourself to your own limits, children. Believe me, you will have the same mindset when a new course of study is offered to you. All those who studied computers, even became MCA, had to relearn everything, because the new programs keep coming. If they just go with their MCA degree, they will be useless. They will not be hired by anybody. So they had to do short-term 3 months, 6 months, 1 month courses to upgrade their knowledge. It goes for even the teachers of our school. Imagine the biology that we taught 5 years earlier is different than what we're teaching currently in 11th and 12th. So the teachers have to upgrade their skills. So teachers are in any case don't study much because the NCERT devises books very, very late. But children, industry changes. Industry changes very fast. So you have to have that desire to change and learn and regrow. If you are using shortcuts to attain success, there are many shortcuts, we know it.
So learn.
Then it
Yes,
is difficult for
in
you
fact,
to take up new challenges.
Ritesh, the good thing about the present scenario, as what rightly said by Rita ma'am, in our times, the options were less. The only good thing is that U-turns are possible. It is just that you need to be a learner throughout, and you need to have the guts of taking a U-turn at any time. Just
Don't call
adding
it
to what
U-turn,
she said.
Rupika. Move forward.
Okay.
Nobody's going back in
U-turn
time.
in the sense, no, nobody goes back in time. But if say you have taken a decision and later you feel that you might be, you would have done better otherwise, it is possible.
So let's say we
There
are
are
at a
many.
T-junction, not a U-turn.
Okay, let it be that way. Thank you for correcting me. But the options are plentiful. In fact, just adding to what you said, my daughter did law ultimately, and 80% of her classmates were from the science background. So science and law, they actually don't, go together from the perspective. But yes, even the science children, science, who opt for science in 11th and 12th, even they opt for law because law is such
I
a
have many
rewarding career
examples
nowadays.
where a child's SUPW hobby became his or her vocation.
Absolutely, you must be, you're right.
My
Absolutely.
next
But
question is going to be for Sukmi ma'am. I'm sorry to stop you here because otherwise we'll run short of time. So Sukmin ma'am,
Yeah.
you know a fact that there are many career choice these days where no formal degree, formal education is required, and we come across all such example. Now there's an industry called influencer, right? We see YouTuber who are making constant content on various topics like maybe education, maybe something or the other, right? So we a lot of young boys and girls they maybe pick up something like cooking, as simple as dressing up. So they will pick up some subject and they will start influencing a lot of other viewers. So this is now becoming a full-time career option for a lot many youngsters these days. So how schools are actually supporting all such aspirant, because people really get influenced by what sort of money influencer are earning, but they don't know what sort of a effort is required. So how school is shaping up those children who are really influenced by the influencer and they want to follow and become like them.
Yeah.
Ma'am.
Yeah. So, that is, it is also the energy invested in the right direction. I have seen a lot of kids, even the kids who were having some kind of behavioral issues, when they got on YouTube or, anything like that, and they had, something to look forward to. They maybe felt that they're not good at anything, but, maybe getting a box of, a new phone and opening it up, how it looks like and everything, it is helping them also build on a lot of things. So one of the things is, the teachers themselves, yes, career counselors, I definitely personally feel are very important when there is bombardment of information for you to streamline. Career counselor will not magically tell you that this is what is meant for you. They will work with you for you to figure out what you need to do. But yes, we have to talk about not to be blindly influenced by them. All teachers, I feel, can be counselors, and they all need to educate the students about it. That this is it's very important to know. Not like the pandemic hit, and suddenly all the teachers had to learn everything from technology, even the ones who were very scared, right? So there are all the teachers can't say that we can't educate the kids about careers. It's important for them to know that influencers and all these things have come up, and they talk maybe in their regular classes or in the morning, just generally about it, that what is it, and you get a lot of information from the students themselves.
Right.
Students themselves will be saying that this is happening, that is happening, and then you tell, at least streamline their information, that okay, don't just be a or mostly all the students are on YouTube and Instagram these days, trying to, make a career out of it, and, trying to gain subscribers, even the young ones.
Right.
So, that they will be dancing to songs and, they'll be doing it. But that is what you need to tell them, that this is the age which is meant for it. We have to keep educating according to the age. Everybody in the school, be it the parents, the teachers, students, they have to be on the same page. And all teachers, right? So a teacher who's teaching class 3 or class 4 cannot say that, why do I need to know about all this influencer and everything? They need to know so that they can talk to the kids about it. Because kids these days, especially in the pandemic, you will see everybody on Instagram putting these reels together and things like that. So what is okay and what is not okay? Where to draw the line? It's very important to have those regular discussions with students.
Right. That's quite important because everyone is there on social media these days, and it's an easy access. In last 2 years specifically, if we talk about when children has to study online, right? They had complete access of internet and all such platforms. So they were really getting influence, and they had the easy access to such content. So thank you for putting this thought across, and I'm sure schools are working in that direction to streamline this career also, this as a career also, and the student moves in right direction. Now I will pick up some of the tricky question, right? And school, as a school, and specifically as a school leader, you must be coming across such situation where parents are adamant, parents whose child has scored low but they really want science, or they want commerce with maths, despite the fact the score in maths in class 10th was really low, the performance was not really good. So if parents are adamant, so this question is for Geeta ma'am. So ma'am, if parents are really adamant about a specific stream or a subject which they may not be eligible as per the school's criteria, so how do you handle all such cases, and what do you suggest to all such parents?
Yes, usually we counsel the parent. See, we have to tell the parent that grades doesn't matter that much. We have to find out that the child is good in which field, and we have to counsel them that taking science, you are saying that you want the child to take science only. What is the scope further that? There are certain things which the child may not be get. The child is taking science because of the pressure today, and what will happen when the child will be clearing 12th with 40% marks, where the child will be standing at that time? We have to tell the parent that there are scope in other subjects where the child is doing well. If the child is good in literature, why not the child is going for the humanities? The child may be, see, at the end of the day, the child should be successful in life. It's not like that the child should be an engineer and not successful in life. So we have to counsel the parent first of all.
Right. So
May I share what we do in our school? Of course, counseling is the first step, but usually, that doesn't work because many parents, they come with a very stubborn mindset that no, if not science, then the whole life is wasted. So we conduct one test again, because if maybe the score is less in the board examinations, then there is an admission test which is put to the children who come from outside, who are seeking admission in class 11. So we say that, okay, fine. You say, ma'am, mera bacha kar lega, aap dekhe to dekho. So the answer to that, okay, fine. Let your child fare in this admission test, so that, in black and white, whatever happened in the past, it's fine. Let's see if the child can do it now. But many a times, even that doesn't work, and we have to go by what the parents say. So later on, they might regret, but then by the time, it is after all their child and their life.
Rupika ma'am, I'll quickly take the view of Geeta ma'am on the same question, but I also have additional question for Neeta ma'am here is, ma'am, CBSE has some policy on this, whether what should be given or what should not be given, what should be the minimum marks criteria with respect to, stream selection for a parent or for a school.
Why are you dragging us into controversy?
I just want my viewer to be
No, CBSE has no such criteria. Okay, these are all made by schools themselves based on their observation of past year's result. If they gave, say, science or mathematical subjects to a child who struggled in these subjects in 8th, 9th, and 10th, Then the child faced music in 11th and 12th. Some of them were on the brink of depression, and they kind of either got compartment or failed, and that lowered their self-image. And it was not right either for the child or for the family or for the school for a child to lose 2 years of his life and then start afresh, or maybe 1 year, and again keep maths because he's got a compartment, so he now can't drop it. If the school identifies this gap in learning, say in the 11th by August, then the child could be advised to change drop a subject, change. You give an additional to begin with and say, okay, fine, I'm giving you maths, but I'm giving you additional maths. You do well till first term, and then we make it a main subject. I do this always. Then you come to even Directorate of Education, that is government schools admission. Even government schools have a policy of giving maths to a certain percentage of 10th class. You know, you've got to have this much percentage to get science. Now, if they are being very fussy, I mean, those schools, then why do we expect private schools to lower their standards and 40%, 50% वालों को हम पकड़ा दें और वो बच्चे सारी जिंदगी struggle करें और 2 साल बहुत परेशान रहे, and to go for tuitions and tuitions and tuitions, and then the people blame the school system that the school system promotes tuitions. If the child has his own strength and liking in that subject, he will never require a tuition. Believe me, they will not require a tuition.
Right.
The only way when they want a tuition is when they want to master more than what the NCERT curriculum says, and they want to get ready for a competitive examination, because the competitive examinations are way higher. I have been talking to IIT professors and they say कि first year में हमें पढ़ाना नहीं पड़ता क्योंकि तुम सारा कुछ तो टेस्ट में पूछ लेते हो first year का course.
Right.
So the children have to study first year engineering while in school and also worry about CBSE. I mean, at least the hardcore chemistry, physics, maths. And then they do the technical part, which the schools are very poor in doing. They don't do practicals well. So they learn the technical part in engineering colleges. Theory, wo chare exam ke liye kisi na kis tarah se padh ke dekhte hain. And because the school teachers will have to worry with the CBSE curriculum, which is as it is very vast, science curriculum is no less. And believe me, there is a big divide between 10th curriculum of science and maths and 11th and 12th curriculum of maths and science. So those who get 9, 10 CGPA in 10th sometimes cannot manage the science of 11th and 12th, and they end up changing the stream. Then why give it to somebody who's as it is struggling? So what the schools do, they do a whole round of examinations of 10th class children. There's got early term options, pre-board 1, pre-board 2, and then they do an aptitude test. They also see the marks obtained by the child in 9th class, online, offline. Online nahi count karte, sirf offline count karenge. And then we decide on the basis of these 4 exams, we are going to offer early term option to the child. And then first we take from the children 2 subjects of their choice. And then we see whether they can fit the child in the first sub choice. If not in the first, then the second. The problem comes when the child cannot be fitted even in the second choice. Right. Because the first choice is asking for with maths, science with maths. Second choice, science without maths. I'll take PCB. Arey bhaiya, tumhara physics, chemistry bhi bahut hila hua tha. So it's not right. Or I will take commerce with maths. मतलब maths तो लेना ही लेना है क्योंकि किसी ने सिखा दिया, without maths जीवन नहीं.
So ma'am,
without maths नौकरी नहीं मिलेगी.
If I take humanities, so my value in the society will go low. Or if
I have seen my toppers going in 2 streams now. I mean, all 3 rather. You take humanities, many toppers have started taking humanities, and which is a very, very positive trend because these children are all the activities of school. They are the best debaters and they do so well in life. Even the my science students do it, but nowadays you find toppers going to any 3 streams. Parents are also becoming wiser. I'm very happy, but it is the average child whose parents wanted to push him to his limits. And they said the only way to push him to limits to give him subjects where he has to struggle. They don't understand. They're making this child all the more average.
Right. Agreed. So I think
a few questions, Ritesh. One kid has asked whether with CUET correspondence courses will become redundant. No, they will still be relevant because CBS universities, any central university cannot take all the admission takers. So NIOS and correspondence courses will remain because there's so many side courses that you can do. Now you can take 2 degrees too. So you can take a Delhi University undergrad degree, BA, BSc, BCom from, not BSc because practicals, but BA, BCom very easily from open school and continue to do some other vocational course. That is very, very good for you. And in fact, it had been going on. Now you can do even 3 courses. You can do a certificate course in language. You can do a computer course. You can do a undergraduate degree course. And then you can do something else to go with. Say, for example, you can specialize in, say, graphic design, visual art, anything that whatever interests you. And for that to happen, please enjoy the hobbies that the school gives you. Please take part in those clubs. You never know. You may find your calling those. I have seen so many of my students going for music or even There's a girl who wants to do dance. I'm so happy that she wants to take dance as a subject. I will give it to her next year. There are one kid who's taken tabla as a subject and 3 more have come. Can we take tabla as one of the optional or additional? I said, of course you can take. First year I'm offering tabla. Last year I offered just sitar to just one kid. So why not? अब ये जितने भी हमारे बड़े सितारिस्ट हैं, इनको शायद स्कूल में सीखा होगा, इन्होंने ये नहीं सीखा होगा, मुझे नहीं पता, लेकिन अगर इनका स्कूल इनको 6 सब्जेक्ट ही दे दे बेशक, so there would be some relevance of the 6 सब्जेक्ट. और अगर 11th से 12th में आते आते कोई मेन सब्जेक्ट बोरिंग लगना शुरू हो गया तो अपने 6th को 5th कर लो और 5th को 6th कर लो या 3rd को 6th कर लो. You can change that combination, that's not a problem. There are a lot of children who have questions on, I want to become a doctor, how do I do? Please go and talk to doctors first of all to find out what does this field entail. भैया सिर्फ MBBS में सिलेक्शन ही बड़ी चीज नहीं है, बहुत जिंदगी भर 8-10 साल मिनिमम, क्या सारी जिंदगी पढ़ना होता है डॉक्टर्स को. अगर आप बहुत मेहनत करने को तैयार हो तो ही मेडिकल फील्ड में जाइए.
Right. That's a
और
very
दूसरा
good...
रशिया और यूक्रेन में जो गए थे मेडिकल करने, वो बेचारे वापस आ गए क्योंकि इंडियन MBBS was costlier than there. Some of them have to come back. So please be very, very careful about what choices you make for your career. Always have, as I said, a backup plan. है ना रितेश?
बिल्कुल मैम. Plan B and plan C.
I was reading this. He says that my teachers say I cannot be a doctor, whereas I want to be a doctor. So you know yourselves better. Why are you letting a teacher's opinion decide? And if you are valuing the opinion so much, then go by what the teachers say. So
I think
at the end of
ये
the
वाला
day,
सेमिनार ना हमें 7th 8th के बच्चों को कराना चाहिए.
Definitely, ma'am. What I feel is, in fact, that is one of my question. That is for Rupika, ma'am. So, ma'am, do you think that the career choice, the focus on career choice should happen right from class 6th, or there has to be certain modules so that one, because generally what happens, one has to take a call in class 10, right? But class 10th is too late to decide. So that I could learn from your session what you are saying. So, is there any arrangement that schools are helping kids from as early as class 6 or 7? Like Neeta ma'am.
In fact, 6th onwards, in the NEP, there has been a proposal that you can decide upon, you can do your selection of subjects, skill subjects, especially after 6th. But in my opinion, 8th will do. I mean, by the time you are done with your, 8th standard, you are already an adolescent. You are in your mid-teens, and that sense of responsibility starts setting in. So I think after 8, there needs to be, and here the schools can definitely help. More and more exposure so that the child is made to think. It will be excellent if the child decides. So far, we have been putting blame on the parents or XYZ people who were around it. Let the child decide, and what better would be the school environment where the child is told that, see, you can do this. Now you decide which one will you like. You can do everything. It should start with on that note. You can do anything that you wish to, but decide what you would like to be in, say, 10 years from now. What will you like yourself to be? Because when we were talking of influencers, right, a little while ago, money is important, but at the same time, career is also, attached with a certain deal of respect in the society. So it is not only the money.
For career, money will become the byproduct.
Yeah.
So,
yes, that absolutely, absolutely. So when you are deciding career, it's not the money which is important only. It is something that the social status that you would like to have later on, because it will not be only the money which will be deciding what will be your social status later on.
We'll take the quick view of Sukhmeen ma'am, but before that, I would like to thank Neeta ma'am. She's answering the Q&A section, right? She is answering the question of many of our viewers. Yes, Sukhmeen ma'am.
Yeah, in fact, the money thing was brought up, and I would like to share a scenario over here. During one seminar that we were having in the school, there was a very renowned, expert who had come, and he asked this question to the students: how many of you want to be a teacher? And very few students raised their hands. And then he said, okay, now my question, I'll just modify. How many of you want to be a teacher if your starting salary is 1 lakh a month? And suddenly hands were moving up. So, the thing is like money. Yeah. So that's like totally goes with your point, Miss Rupika ma'am, because, sometimes I've gone to the class, I tell them that, what do you want to be? And there's this one boy who said investment banker. I said, oh, I was very happy. It was a few years back that a child who was talking about investment banking. I said, why? He said, I Googled, which is the highest paying job in the world. So, so that is what we need to understand. You have to find something you're good at and you'll find ways to make money in it. So that should not, this is one thing which is really driving kids these days. Ki, where am I going to get really high salary? How much do they earn? And those kind of things.
Right. In
So
fact, it is not just about Googling about how to earn more money, but introspecting oneself, that
exactly.
having more research and introspection. Like we have already spoke about this. So last question for today is, for Sukhmeen ma'am. Sukhmeen ma'am, dropping an year instead of choosing a stream you don't like. So what is your opinion about this?
Sorry,
And
can you repeat? Dropping a year?
dropping an year instead of choosing a stream, it, don't you think so it's like a taboo? And how are you tackling all such issues, ma'am?
Yeah. So there have been cases in the school where, see, like I always say stream selection. There was a point about, Neeta ma'am and Rupika ma'am, when they were talking about that it's okay to take a U-turn, and, they said, no, let's keep moving forward, and, things like that. That stream selection is definitely a very important milestone, but do not consider, if at all a wrong decision has happened, do not consider it as a full stop and get frustrated in life and things like that. It is a taboo, but I have seen personally that it has worked for a lot of kids also. They were in science and how they were struggling, and with tuitions, everything, obviously did not clear class 11th, and when they were repeating, the worst mistake that they do is when they repeat with the same stream.
Right.
Okay, when they realize that that is something, and that child I have seen going into humanities and doing so well, the stigma is there. If you let that stigma be there, right? We have to educate everybody around us, the students and everything, and people are much more aware these days. So anybody who's repeating, the children are doing it, some students, many students are doing it very confidently. The others who are not, they need to be, a one-on-one interaction with a class teacher or a teacher or a counselor in the school helps, that why it is important for you. Because if you just go on, it'll be easy to clear the subjects. ठीक है, second year में कुछ तो कर ही लेंगे, they'll get those passing marks. Boards also, for how many years you want to struggle with the wrong stream, right? So if at all a wrong decision has happened, and for you right now is to drop it and move towards that, a child has to feel confident, and people around can make the child confident. Parents also play a very very important role over here, because parents are like, अच्छा जो science लिया है तो लिया है, वो तो करना ही है अब, अब तो इतना we invested so much time in coaching centers and this and that. So it's even more of a challenge to counsel the parents than counseling the kid, because it's like everybody has to be on the same wavelength. They don't drop, they might go to another school and go for that stream which they again were not doing well in. So that is again going to spoil the child's future, right? Maybe the child will become an average engineer or an okay person, but maybe he was meant for greater things or something else in life, and that is what we need to make them understand.
Right. I'll take quick view of Geeta ma'am on the same question, ma'am. What is your view on this question?
In which the child is not able to perform beforehand, I think there is no hope in that. It's better the child should again think the strength of the child and weaknesses of the child, and then change the subject, change the stream. In future, the child would be able to do better.
Right. So what we could learn from today's session is one has to be really introspective and well researched when it comes to stream selection, subject selection. They need to have a lot of homework. They need to have a different plan A, plan B, plan C, and they need to read a lot of content and be observant, so that they can make right choice, and they can opt the career of their choice, not by chance. So thank you all the panelists for sharing your view and thoughts with our viewers today. And all the viewers, I would like to tell you that this session is recorded there and it is available on the Facebook. It was live on the Facebook, and you will find this session, recorded session, there on the Facebook. And you can go and follow UniApply on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So you will keep getting all the updates about all such session where we invite panelists and the leaders from different school, and we discuss on the important topic. So yes, Neeta ma'am.
I have answered 27 questions, 12 I could not answer, few were repetitive. And please do not take my answers as the last word. This is like, I am not as adept in it. Everybody, believe me, nobody is a perfect counselor, because the things are changing. The counselor may also be outdated. The
Right.
counselors have to keep researching. So children, keep researching, keep talking to people, and be hopeful that you will be able to make a good life. Don't worry if you do not get a subject, life will not be lost. Please work on your strengths, and you all have an amazing future. Just believe in yourself.
So thank you, Neeta ma'am,
Amazing
for
words.
this quote and this
Okay.
message. So viewers, all your unanswered question will be answered by our team, right? So don't worry if any of your question is missed. You can post and you can write the question at support@uniapply.com. We'll help you with the answers. And I would now like to.
There are 4 hands up
Okay.
from students.
So, but we are running short of time, ma'am. Hence, we will take those questions over the email, and we would love to reply.
Vidhu Bajaj, Altamash, Nancy, and Zoom feedback manager, we are very sorry, but you can please post your questions in the chat or question answer, and Team UniApply will get back to you. We're very sorry that we have not been able to take your questions, but we really enjoyed. I didn't know that I'm going to enjoy this seminar so much.
Thank you so much,
Because
ma'am.
to be able to guide this generation where they're at crossroads is the biggest thing that we should do. And we are with you. All of us are with you. All principals, teachers, parents are with you. And we will definitely try to help you. I'm sure your schools will also try to help you.
So thank you so much, all the panelists and the viewers, to be here for making this session successful. And we'll keep coming with all such sessions. Stay tuned with us. Thank you. Thank you for today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, co-panelists. Loved it.